Hello and welcome to the MHG podcast. Life could be miserable, life could be dark. The WSL football season's over, so we don't travel up to football anymore. And yeah, we're here to bring you some light, some joy, and not football. I don't know. Stu might be a football. I don't know. But Stu joins me. Stu, how you doing?
Not bad for a sentient football. Yeah, I'm not feeling deflated today. Yeah.
No, I do the poor jokes, Stu. Come on.
I've got plenty of them. But yeah, no, I'm not bad. We're pretty much there with the house now, so we signed some more documents. I'm not used to like writing with my hand using a pen. It's really strange. You just type your name and you then choose a signature looking font. That's all you do. Exactly. Or I just use, yeah, that's true. Or a big shaky cross, which is what I normally do. But yeah, so that's signed off. So we should just be getting dates for completion soon, and that should be it. So it's pretty exciting.
Cool. Excellent. Your signature.
Yes.
Is it the same
As
your previous signature and your next signature? Are you one of those that can make your signature look the same all the time?
Oh, I see. Like each time I do it.
Yeah, I probably could have structured that question a bit better.
Yeah, that's all right. Not really. No, I mean it's within a sort of 70% tolerance, I would say.
Mine's like it's done by a completely different person with a completely different name every single time.
Yeah.
Even before I went blind and everything. Again, this is probably like, I don't know if it's an ADHD thing, an autism thing or whatever. But I cannot recreate my previous signature.
Yeah.
If I was a famous footballer, I did say we wasn't going to bring you football, but there we go. I managed to somehow bring something. If I was a famous footballer and I was signing autographs at the end, honestly, anyone could forge my signature, my autograph.
I know. Well, I made a fatal error, you see, when I was a kid. Well, several, but in this case, in terms of signatures, because I didn't understand that it could be anything you wanted. I just thought it had to be your name spelled.
Yeah.
And you could afford to be sloppy or, basically like it could be messy. I didn't understand that it could be literally.
No, you can't be
anything
messy. I'm sure he'll complain about that.
No, lean on messy. Yeah. That was terrible. But
it was.
Yeah.
But I you had the previous bad joke. I had to come back. Come on.
Yeah, fair play. Yeah, clap back. So, yeah, no, signature, not great. Is it reproducible? Kind of. If somebody said to me...
Not by you.
Yeah, easily by somebody else, normally with some sort of brain injury. But if somebody said to me, is this your signature? I'd probably be like, maybe. So,
yeah. Mine, it started off. See, I used to have a decent surname for doing a signature because it started with a C and an L. So it's one of those where you could go, oh, you could do something with that, right? But Marsh, that's a crap name. It really is. So what I used to do when I tried to make it all the same, I used to do like a line for the M, put the Breastie Bits and the B around it, and then write the rest of the M and the Marsh through it. And I thought, oh, that was really cool. And now, for the last 20-odd years, I just scribble. Literally just scribble.
Yeah. As long as it's roughly the same scribble each time, I think you're golden.
But it's not. It's not. I mean, honestly, one of my signatures I've done recently, I remember doing it. Honestly, my name could have been Sir Vincent Bartholomew of Westerland the 15th. Such was the scribble that was there.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I don't know. Listen, if anyone on Twitter, I might even ask this on Twitter, is it a neurodiverse thing, your signature? I don't know.
Worth looking into.
Probably not. It's probably not worth looking into. Sure. Talking of not worth looking into, AAA video games, Joe. There's no shady business going on there.
Oh, no. Not at all. It's all above board.
No, video games. It's all good. Which is why I generally only play the indies. Although Katamari's... What's Katamari? What would you describe Katamari as? That's not AAA, but it's not indie.
No, I suppose it was, just like a mid-tier
game
when it was released.
Yeah,
A.
Yeah, it's just a game. Do you remember when games were just games?
It's becoming increasingly difficult to remember.
Yeah, but do you remember when, like, indie was like oh god, it's an indie, and it's like, no, you always want AAA. Now I like going, it's an indie because it's probably free of corporate greed.
I know, right? I know. I'm slipping further and further away from the mainstream, and it's not by choice.
Oh, mine has been for quite a while. I tried a AAA game a little while back, and I've like got bored of it already because it's just boring. I also seem to be not in a minority, but there seems to be a nice divide on Planet of Lana.
Yes.
Right, just before we get going, right, I'm not asking for your thoughts or anything. Have you tried it yet, and are you scared to tell me what you think of it?
Yes to both of those questions. Yeah.
Good. It seems to be a down the middle split on what people think of that game. There's the people who say that it's the best thing of the year and it's wonderful and it's brilliant, and then there's the people who are wrong. So, no, it's fine. I get that. I do like a bit of hyperbole when I play something new. You might have noticed that over the years, Stu. That I kind of like, if I find something I like, I go, yeah, it's really good, and I will champion it. And then people come along and go, oh, it's all right. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I think
sad.
Not to get into a massive discussion on it, but that's always hard for us to avoid. But yeah, it's kind of like Death Stranding, I think, in that kind of intellectually you can go, yeah, it's got great mechanics, it looks lovely, there's all sorts of positive things about it, and you can play it and just go, oh, I hate this, or I just don't connect with it. Or you can be like me and go, oh wow, this really connected with me, it's wonderful. And unfortunately it was the former for me with Planet of Lana. It just didn't connect, but I can recognise that it's a good game.
Yeah, what got me is I did not play it as a game, which is almost like a fundamental thing with a game, but I didn't play it as a game at all. I don't know what it was, it just hooked me. I think it was the lack of dialogue and the lack of exposition. That's the word, exposition, isn't it? Yeah, the lack of exposition that was going on, and it just allowed a story to flow naturally without ramming different bits into your ear holes and stuff like that you've got to try and remember. Yeah. There wasn't any, you really didn't need to remember what had happened, but in doing so, I felt a connection to the game all the way through, and it just felt like, for me, and I think I put this in my written review, that what the experience was, you was on a journey with Lana and Mui, and you could sense there was this foreboding, there was something going on in the background, and there was something massive, and as the story progresses, it just gets bigger, and sort of like you get involved more, and the puzzles and the platforming were literally just there to give you something to do, which is where I think gaming can work specifically well, because I think had you tried to tell this as a animated series or as a movie or as a book or something like that, I don't think it works. It just does not work at all. But I think adding in those game mechanics that stop it just being a walking simulator, quote unquote, for me, it just hooked me in so much. But the arguments to the other side, I get it. There is no challenge there. And a lot of people want challenge in their games as well, or they want something more than what it gave. What is disappointing is the amount of people that go in, I don't see why this should be getting a 9 out of 10. This is why I don't do scores, Stu. Because my 9 out of 10, my 10 out of 10 is not the same as your 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. That's fine. And yeah, that's what I hate. We see Steph Sterling again getting abused over Tears of the Kingdom. And it's, screw scores. But you're wrong about Planet of Lana.
No, that's fine. I don't mind being wrong. So I'm used to it, in fact. So what did Steph Sterling give a score to
7?
Tears of the Kingdom? Oh, right. So the
Good
same
score.
as Breath of the Wild. Yeah.
Yeah, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed the game. And that was about it, but it wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
But it also apparently wasn't quite as good as Warhammer 40,000, 40,000 bolt gun.
40,000, yeah.
40,000 Leagues Under the Sea or whatever, bolt gun, which was a 7.5 from them.
Well, you see, again, it's personal taste. I've not played it yet. But what have you been playing that might
games
link into that a little bit?
Link.
Oh, yeah, that was entirely unintentional.
Oh, look at that. Right, so where was I going? What have I been playing? I should be talking about games I've been playing. Death from Above, Stu.
Oh.
That's not a threat, by the way. It is a name of a game.
Okay.
Now, I wanted to play this out of intrigue more than anything because I don't know how I feel about the subject matter. And I was hoping maybe it was going to be some kind of commentary on what's happening in the world, and that's what it was going to be. But I can't see it at the moment. But so basically, it's called Death from Above, and you play a military drone operator from the Ukraine. And basically your job is to blow up Russian forces and artillery and stuff like that using weapons from your drone.
Bloody hell.
So, yeah. So I was intrigued if it was going to have some kind... Because, do you know, I think one of the most effective moments in modern video games... is it modern even now? But let's say modern video games... is that moment in Modern Warfare... Sorry, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Yeah, that's the one. Where you're doing all the action on the ground and stuff like that. Might be Modern Warfare 2. Just whatever. That little group of games. You're doing all your action on foot and everything's all panicky, and then all of a sudden you're in the air and you're just dropping things on like the civilians below and stuff like that. And it's just calming. You know you're creating atrocities, and it's calming. Or you get that same time where in Spec Ops: The Line, where it takes you to that above, and you drop in the not the asphalt. What's it called? That bomby gassy stuff. That stuff that kills people. It's not asbestos, but yeah, you drop in that shit down, and it's absolutely killing like civilians and everything like
Napalm?
that. But napalm, that's it. Thank you for having a brain that I don't, and for managing to unscramble mine. Anyway, and you got that. It's like it takes you away from what the personal feeling is, and they work. They're so effective with it. Whereas this, so far, it's only early access. I was hoping this was going to be something like that kind of goes, oh look, you're just seeing the Russians as the bad people, the military as the bad people. Jesus Christ, I'm not defending the Russian government or anything like that. But let's remember, in all war, yes, there will be some soldiers in the military that enjoy what they're doing. There will also be some that don't, but are too afraid to not do what they're doing. So, I'm not defending Russian, governments and stuff like that. Please don't edit that in a way that I'm defending Russian governments, Stu.
No promises.
No promises, no. But I hoped it was going to be rather than it's going to bomb the crap out of anything Russian. It was going to have some kind of commentary to it, and it doesn't at this stage. And it runs rough as a bear's arse as well at the moment. It's really single frames per second on the Steam Deck. It runs a bit better on PC, but it's very, very early access. The controls of that are pretty good, in all fairness. So you control this drone, it's fairly easy to control. You've got different cameras depending on what you're going to do. And it's not... Do you know we spoke last week about how it's amazing how many missiles you can have on an aeroplane in video games for some reason. This you can carry to start with where I am 6 maybe anti-tank missiles on your field, and then you have to fly back to your operator to refill them and go again. So it keeps things a bit more grounded despite being called Death from Above. And then there's a bit where you can pick up, because you got to have fun in your political social commentary game where you're bombing Russians, where you can pick up washing machines and give them back to where they should go, which is really weird. But anyway, I don't know. And it's kind of weird. It plays well, but I felt uncomfortable playing it. But it's also got any donations, anything you make and stuff like that. I think purchasing go towards Ukrainian people who have gone fought in the war and stuff like that to help them financially. So there's some good bits to it. But it just feels like it's going, Ukrainians are the good people, so it's okay to bomb the shit out of the Russian people, which I'm a little bit uncomfortable with as a game. And I get what it's trying to do. I just think it's a bit wide of the mark based on what I've played at the moment.
I'm completely uncomfortable with that, and I wouldn't play it. But yeah, it's a personal decision.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about morals and ethics in video games on a forum, and people really seem to struggle with it, seem to struggle to parse how to deal with it. So I kind of, for fun and kind of seriously, did a little hand drawing of a flow chart of how you should decide whether you should do it or not.
Don't lie. I've seen that on your desk for years.
Yeah, I'm obsessed.
You always refer to that with every new game.
I know, right? But it just basically goes, have you got a problem with this? Have you got a problem with that? And it kind of like, that's how my brain works with it. And one of them is, it says, do I want the game? Yeah. Okay. If you think so, okay, next question is, are you concerned about the content? And if you are, you should either play a demo or you should watch videos of it or see somebody play it on Twitch. If you're still concerned after that, don't buy it. It's as simple as that. If you're not concerned, go ahead and then go through the rest of the flowchart. But yeah, for me, this doesn't have to apply to everyone by any stretch. But for me, if it's got problematic content, I won't play it.
No, and it's so hard because I feel like I'm going, Ukrainians fighting for their lives. They think it's just as bad as well. I'm not saying that at all. I just think it's, the fact that he wants to raise money for the people who need it, I'm all for that. Honestly, I'm all for that. And I've seen some people say this is satire as well, and trying to like put it towards satire. It's not. It's not. No. And I unless it might be down the line, it might be what they're aiming for. But I get as well why they might want to release it in early access to help fund it as well. But I think the timing of the game, the state it's in, the gameplay so far, it's not one that I think should be out and just going very black and white on good and evil, because it's an ongoing situation. And as I said, yes, Putin, Russian government, evil. Boots on the ground, don't get me wrong. Those who are going around raping and pillaging and stuff like that, yeah, they're evil bastards as well, but they're not all like that. It's the same way that I'm uncomfortable with banning of all Russian athletes from events and stuff like that because of what's going on and etc., because it's not those individuals. Even those that speak out against Russia are banned from sporting events and things like that, and we just seem to have just gone, Russian, bad. Much in the same way that it took us 40 years for British people to realise there's a difference between Nazis and Germans. It's uncomfortable, and I hate to say it, it's not a very good game at the moment either. But it's a competent game that someone's tried to make. It is early access. Money goes to good causes. I don't know. I can't recommend it, but if you are intrigued, you're not going to get anything deep. It is. It's only £8.50 in all fairness. So maybe I am looking for too much of it, but yeah, I'm kind of done with it because it's very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah. Well, I know that we're going to be quicker today, but I think this is something... No. That's not a...
This was my quick game as well.
Well, that's because I asked questions and we broadened the conversation, which is a good thing. So you're not to blame. It's worth focusing on, and even if this is the last one we do today, it's worth focusing on, I think. So it's all very nuanced. To strip some of that nuance away for a minute, if there was a game that your job was to go out granny bashing, which is a term that you probably haven't heard since the 80s, and most people will never have heard. But, you go out and you smash old people's heads in.
Take their pension.
And, all of that, postal style, all that. But they guaranteed, and you could trace it back, that every penny of that game sold went to a charity, like a registered charity, and you knew that it did. You did your due diligence, and you knew that it did. You could go, right, I'm buying that.
Age UK.
Yeah, I'm buying that, but I'm never playing it. So I've invested in that thing,
Yeah.
but I'm not playing the content. I think, you know, you could move towards applying that to this game, except what's the due diligence? How can you be sure that the money's going where they say it's going to go? And if you're confident, then you could invest that and then not play the game. However, that raises the question of what's the point of that when you could just go, I'll give that $8.95 to charity. You know, I will. There are lots of Ukrainian appeals. I could just donate to one of those.
Yes.
Then you get into the argument of, well, how can I be sure that money's going to the right place? Which, you know, things like Band-Aid in the UK in the 80s, there was so much mismanagement of funds. Perhaps 10% of what was raised actually went to the actual cause.
70% went up someone's nose.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so even when you're doing something, you can't torture yourself with this stuff. You do your best, because even if you go, right, I'm giving £1 million to this thing, they could mismanage that, or they could be lying, and that's not on you. So I've not really got a point. Only that ethics are hard. But
yes.
Yeah, in terms of allowing you say what goes into your eyeballs via, you know, playing on a gamepad, you are in control of that. And if you don't like what it is that's happening on the screen, yeah, don't feel bad about not doing it.
No. And I didn't actually think I'd play a game that actually made me feel not quite so bad about playing Steep. I just couldn't help myself. I've got it from, like, again, this is, I know it goes against arguments and stuff like that, but I've had Steep before, and I got it for like £1. I was like, I missed that game and I want to play it again. And I wrestled with myself more than anyone should wrestle with themselves about playing a fucking video game. And so I ended up getting it, and I felt really bad. And I was playing it, going, there's an episode of The Simpsons. It always goes back to something called The Simpsons, got to say, where Homer has to get rid of, or he's looking after a lobster but doesn't want to eat it, but then the lobster gets killed and he's eating the lobster while crying because he loves the lobster. Yeah. That's how I felt kind of playing Steep, when my morals and stuff like that. But this is right. So I just had to do a little bit. I was feeling there because I was trying to do a little bit of due diligence as I was feeling. And so the donations, there's 2 that it goes to, right? Right. And they lead with one, which is Come Back Alive, which is the biggest foundation providing competent assistance to Ukrainian defenders since 2014. Their goal is to preserve the lives of Ukrainian defenders in the face of an invading force. By the way, good use of the word Ukrainian defenders and not Ukrainian military. Just want to point out.
True.
For an invading force purchased by blah, 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 blah. So they can save civil lives. The Foundation supplies thermal imaging devices, generators, radios, GPS navigators, etc. for people who are on the front line, which is it's fine. I get what he's trying to help people so they're not like undermanned compared to sort of like opposition forces. The second one is where I maybe draw the line off, and I'm glad I got review code for this. Army of Drones is the other, well, where the charity, where the donations will go. What? Which is a Army of Drones.
Oh, you know, I heard you. I couldn't quite believe it. Go on. What is it?
It sounds like, it's basically, it's Ash Williams' new project to take down, the not zombies, what are they called? Army of Dead. Well, what are they called? Anyway, Evil Dead, those things. Deadites. That joke went off. Yeah. Army of Darkness, Army of Drones.
I see. Go on. What is it actually?
Anyway. What? The Army of Drones? Yeah, sorry. It's a joint comprehensive project of the General Staff of the Armed Forces of the Ukraine, a state special communications service, the Ministry of Digital Transformation, and the Ministry of Defence of Ukraine. Right, so all of those joint operations, there you go, which organises and conducts procurement of UAVs, supply them to the military, train operators to fly drones, and support Ukrainian startups and manufacturers in the field of UAVs to develop the military tech sector in the UK.
Jesus.
That's, the first one, get it? Yeah, I kind of get where you're going with that. That second one is just like, hang on, did Nicolas Cage make a film about this a good few years back?
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm out. I am out.
Yeah. And again, this really sounds like an episode where we're pro-Russia. We're not. At least I'm not. I can't speak for Stu. He's not said anything. He's probably too worried about what Papa Putin will say. I don't know.
Oh, he's probably listening.
The lesser talked about Smurf Papa Putin.
That was a good one.
So don't tell Vladimir Putin I called him a Smurf, for crying out loud. We are not pro-Russia, military or government at all. But this, it's like 6 Days in Fallujah. That's coming out again soon, by the way. That's actually got a release date. It was the wrong game at the wrong time, and that has apparently got a good, like, a documentary style message to it. This is the wrong game at the wrong time, which feels a bit propaganda-y now the more I read into it after playing it. It's not a very... The game's average, it's okay, and if you was like red versus blue, like Aliens or whatever, I think you got an okay game. What it is, I'm talking about it now, talking about it like bouncing on someone else. I think it's a bit propaganda-ish, and that's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things that you either... No, you see, there's no binary. There's no kind of straight, easy answer for these things. It's just like case by case. And like, I just blind buy things all the time. And I don't know if that's going towards a problematic developer or, a horrible publisher, or... whether the content is going to suddenly like turn a corner and it's suddenly, anti-trans or something. And but you can only be accountable for so much. But I think in that case, which is fairly naked what they're doing, I wouldn't have any trouble with just going, I'm not laying down any cash. Especially if the content is dodgy. It's harder with stuff like, we talked about it on the podcast about the Hogwarts Legacy, because, it was made by broadly nice people. It even has some inclusivity in it, as far as I've heard. It doesn't have any content in it that you could classify as being dodgy, as far as I've heard. And yet
not on the surface level anyway.
No.
There's a lot of subtext in JK Rowling, but
there is.
We're not going down that route.
No,
today.
Not subtextually. Yeah, just textually, definitely. But the money's still going to an absolute monster. So you don't give them any money. But the game itself is not a problem. No. So it's a tough one. You've just got to keep your eyes open and do your best. Is all you can do.
Yeah, this feels like it's been made by possibly someone very angry, and I get that. And if you want to make a project like that, all I want to say is maybe this should have been chucked on itch.io rather than an actual Steam release.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think what you've got, because it's not a big game by a big name or anything like that, it probably won't get much traction. But if anyone else does play it, I'd love to hear some thoughts, because I might be very, very wide of the mark with this, but I just felt really, really uncomfortable playing it. As I said, I felt more comfortable playing Steep. So, yeah. I think I'm going to go and watch a Serbian movie now just to clean myself up.
Oof, lucky you. Go for it.
Is that what it was called? The Serbian movie?
Well, that was the... Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. I've seen it once, and yeah.
Well, I've not seen it, but on the subject of troubling films, war films specifically, come and see. Oh my God! If you ever want to have your mind completely shattered into a million pieces and never want to look at humanity again, watch the anti-war film Come and See, which is absolutely devastating and it will crush your soul. Yeah, go and enjoy. Yeah.
Please tell me that's hosted by Justin, who's Mr. Tumble in CBBC and talks to all the disabled kids, because that's what it. Because I'm sure he's got something called Come and Play or something like that.
No, sadly.
And he's hosted. Yeah, that's a shame, because that would be really disturbing.
Maybe they could do a crossover,
Yeah. Talking of really disturbing, very, very quickly, I was on the bus going to my foot clinic yesterday, and on the bus we go past this small little theatre in Chelmsford. I don't know what production they had on, but there was a guy dressed. He had like just a normal like shirt and some trousers, and he was smoking outside, but had like what seemed to be worn off clown paint on his face, but not like traditional like red lips clown paint, like sinister, like it was like blue. With like different patterns on it, and he looked like he was about to go and do some kind of something nefarious, and it just looked really, really disturbing. And I was like, please tell me everyone else has seen that clown figure over there, because I'm now really scared.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I get it. He was probably just on his way to work at my place, because that's full of clowns. So.
But tell me any other podcast where you can go from a deep conversation about the ethics of war and video games to, fuck, there was a creepy clown stood outside a theatre.
I know.
Without skipping a beat.
I know.
Yeah. Without skipping a beat. Right. I've got two more I want to talk about. I'm only going to talk about one, and I'm only going to touch on it briefly. It'll give me an excuse to actually do some more writing. I'm enjoying my writing. You've been playing something a bit crap, Stu.
Yeah.
And I want you to talk about it because, hey, we don't talk about crap too often, and I feel like we're on a proper negative roll at the moment, so tell me about the crap you've been playing.
Yeah, and it might not even be that crap, but what I've played of it is so crap that I just can't be bothered playing any more of it to find out if it continues the crapness or whether it redeems itself. And I don't know, half of it is just me being harsh because it's ugly, and it's called The Takedown. I can't even remember. I have to keep looking at it. The Takeover, you see? You got it wrong. The Takeover.
It's like Street Fighter 5 graphics done by a 4-year-old.
Yeah, it looks like... what's it called? When pre-rendered sprites. Pre-rendered sprites, which I've always struggled with, like Mortal Kombat. But yeah, sometimes I like them, sometimes I don't. Most of the time I hate them. In this game, it's really strange. They look like pre-rendered sprites, but they're cartoonish. It's just like, well, why haven't you just drawn some sprites then, you lazy bastards? But it's like a scrolling beat 'em up. It kind of feels a bit like a turbocharged Final Fight 3, but not. It's boring and bland. It just doesn't do anything new, and it doesn't even like do the old stuff in a particularly exciting way. It just honestly, in every way, it's just unappealing. I'm not saying it's a shit game, but it's just so unappealing, and I've played so much better than it of its genre this year that I just can't be bothered, and that's it. So that's my takedown of the takeover, or my takeover of the takedown, whichever you prefer. And it doesn't reward any more talking. So what's the last one you've been playing?
So I'm going to finish it positively.
Go on.
Which one am I going to talk about? Let me just have a quick look. I'm going to talk about the turn-based strategy game. There we go. So, do you remember a game a few years back coming out called Mutant Year Zero? Road to Eden. It was like XCOM, but without too much of the XCOM-y bits of the XCOM that I don't like, the bits in between. Yeah. So it's pretty good. I've not really. I've got to go back to that at some point. But the people behind that, essentially, the creators behind that, have made another game similar in vein called Miasma Chronicles. Miasma. Let's go Miasma. Miasma Chronicles. Yep. Miasma. And it's a journey type thing, so you're going through, you got these like this stuff, you like to walk around the world naturally and shit goes down, and then you get into the battles, and the battles are turn-based XCOM like type stuff. And again, I'm not going to go into story because I don't like talking about story because I can't help but if I do talk about story, spoiling it. But basically shit goes down in the not too distant future, some weird forces, you get powers, etc, and the further you go, the more powers you get, the more stuff you can do in your turn-based battles. Look, all I really care about is, are the turn-based battles good, and can I access them? And yes I can, and yes it is, and I really like the whole idea of this real-time exploration with then tactical turn-based combat. I love that idea in a video game. I think it works really well, especially for someone like me who needs separation sometimes. So I'll play a game where it's just action, and I get thrown. I was like, it's too much going on. I can't stop without actually pausing the game. And when you pause an action game at any point and it's in the middle of the action, you kind of go, I'm going to lose what I'm doing now. I'm going to have to restart this bit because I'm not going to be able to pick up the pace.
Yeah.
We spoke about it with, it's not an action game, but with Luminis last week or the week before, about how you pause that, you can't get back into your flow again. I'm the same with action games. So something that allows me to go, right, the exploration bit, we're about to go into battle, I could just stop. Take it all in and change my focus. I love that. And this works really well. The balance between the two elements is good. So there is exploration, but it's not overloaded exploration that you're going, can we just get to the combat now because this is boring. It's well balanced there. The combat ranges from something like maybe quick that's like 5 minutes to maybe you'll have some combat elements that last half hour, 45 minutes because it's just a much bigger battle. And it's broken up to, it's like actually you've got to protect this area, you've got to stay where you are and just hunker down to. Actually, your combat is to get from this area through to that area, getting through the enemy. So the different types of combat, even though they're the same, have different goals. It's got all of that there. It's got light RPG elements so that you can upgrade your weapons and you do feel really powerful at times. What it's got is as you upgrade, you don't get overpowered. That each combat moment feels like just I'm just doing minions, but then it's not holding you back enough that you're going. You're just keeping me under leveled, and I don't want to be under leveled. I want to actually have some moments where I'm absolutely obliterated. And again, it gets that balance right. Now. And you just go through this journey, and I'm only a few hours in. I'm not like massively in, but I don't know where the story leads or anything like that, or how much further it goes. But I feel now I've got to the point of the game that I'm enjoying it. I've seen everything it's got to offer in terms of gameplay mechanics and everything, and it's one of those where I think I'm just gonna tickle it once a week, whatever. I don't even know what phrase that is, Stu.
Wow, where did that come from?
Tickle a game once a week? I don't know. I'm gonna have a little go once a week, maybe half an hour of exploration into combat, an hour, whatever it is. Put it down, pick it up a week later after I've played other stuff, and just enjoy it at my pace. And this allows you to do that really, really well. And visually, it's lovely as well. It's got a really nice, grungy, end of days aesthetic to it. Where, do you remember we complained about games that were all like brown all the time?
Yeah. And
then it got to a point where everything was colourful.
Yeah.
Because video games can't do nuance very well. It's either, everything's, well, I was going to say black and white. It's either brown or colourful. This has got a nice nuance. There's lots of colour to it where it matters, but it feels dark and grungy, and stuff's not right in the world, and it hasn't broken through to look at all the flashy cyberpunk stuff that's going on yet. It's like people live in shanty towns that are actually part of what used to be good suburban neighbourhoods and stuff like that. I love the aesthetic. It's really, really good. And the best thing I've played, it's not the best thing I've played this week, but it's other stuff I've been playing outside of this MotoGP games that I've been really enjoying. But in terms of stuff that I've been playing for review, it's absolutely outstandingly the best thing I've played this week.
Cool. Yeah. Looks good. Yeah. Is it a very quick question? Is it like Gears Tactics? Is it kind of in that kind of vein?
Yes. There's a but I don't know what the but is. It feels different to Gears Tactics.
Yeah.
It feels closer, bizarrely enough, to Mario and Rabbids.
Right, yeah.
But, yeah. So, this is... Okay, so this is to Mario and Rabbids as Blur was to Mario Kart.
Okay.
In which case, this is better. Blur was better than Mario Kart. Shoot me. I'll say it. Blur was better than Mario Kart.
Well, fair play.
Yes, it was. But yeah, no, it is. Yeah, it's more in line with that in terms of, I think it's a lot more accessible than XCOM for sure. But there was still elements of Gears where I played it and just went, it's starting to lose me in these elements of managing this and managing that. There's a lot less management in here. There is some, but not enough where I'm getting overwhelmed. And Gears started to overwhelm me in terms of you can recruit this now and take this from this person and give it to this person and do this. I was like, I don't want to do that bit. Can you just give me a button that says what's best? A what's best button.
Yeah.
All games like that, just give me a what's best button as an accessibility feature because I can't cope with it. This is why I think I like this because it's a bit more linear in that aspect.
Oh, cool. All right then, I might check that out.
Yep. And keep an eye on the site. I will do a bit of takedown of Strayed Lights, which is also very, very good. But I was going to use that for I need to play a bit more really, so it gives me an excuse to play more. But looks pretty good.
Nice.
But yeah, that's it. I don't know what else to say because it's kind of like it's weird week. It's been a weird week, Stu. It's half term.
Yeah.
Lucas is doing his GCSEs. He's halfway through those. We had meltdowns because of Liverpool trips and coming home. And listen, if anyone knows a sugar daddy that wants to pay for us to move to Liverpool, just drop me a message. Help me.
Yeah, it'd be nice. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been really, really weird week. But video games are constant, so I'll shut up now.
They are a constant, and they're constantly excellent. Well, not all of them, but, most of them. So, yeah, enjoy your games this week. And, as usual, follow us on all the socials. Check out our content on the website. Join our Discord if you want to chat with other like-minded people. And, in the meantime, stay safe and stay sane.